segment of Uplate here. Earlier in the show, we took a look at the National League All-Star update so far in the voting. Again, we're just 14 days away, now 13 days away, as we're in the midnight hours here for the All-Star game. So we're going to take a look now at the American League All-Star voting, just an update of what the voting is at this current time. We'll start with the catcher position. And right now it is Wilson Ramos of the Tampa Bay Rays leading catching voting. Behind him is Gary Sanchez of the New York Yankees. Brian McCann is in third for the Astros. Salvador Perez for the Royals. And fifth on the list is Yan Gomez from the Indians. Now, Wilson Ramos, to me, is the guy that deserves to be starting in this All-Star game. It's probably the best solid catcher that's having a really good season this year. And if you take a look at a guy like Gary Sanchez, this is what I talked about earlier in the show, that sometimes that All-Star games can be about popularity. A lot of hype around the New York Yankees right now, and it should be. I mean, they're having a terrific season. A lot of young, talented players producing at a high level for them. And Gary Sanchez is a guy that's very popular among Yankee fans. However, he shouldn't even be second on this list, and this is coming from a Yankee fan. You know, I had a problem a few weeks ago when he was leading the All-Star voting for this position. I mean, this guy is batting under 200. Yes, the home runs are double figures, has some RBIs, had some big home runs, some big late-game home runs, had a stretch where he was more like the Gary Sanchez that we're used to seeing back in early June. But other than that, maybe the end of May into June. But other than that, he has really struggled at the plate this year. And it has carried over to his defense a little bit. Now, you're not going to find a guy that's got a stronger arm than Gary Sanchez. If you're running on him, you got to be sure you're going to make it and better get a good jump because he can gun you out. But the offense just has not been there. To me, he should be further down this list. He should be on it, but should be a lot further down. I think Wilson Ramos is the guy that should be starting. Gary Sanchez looks like he'll be like the backup. I just don't think that's the case. Again, it's just popularity. But that's the way it looks for catcher position as we move on to first base. It is Jose Abreu of the Chicago White Sox who leads the All-Star voting. Yoel Gurriel of the Houston Astros is number 2. Mitch Moreland of the Boston Red Sox at 3. Albert Pujols at 4. And fifth on the list, Miguel Cabrera. Hey, even if you vote Miguel Cabrera, we know he's not going to play in the All-Star game, out for the year with the injury that he suffered a few weeks ago. Albert Pujols, I don't think is really deserving of an All-Star. Not the same player, obviously, getting up there in age. Mitch Moreland, that's a guy that doesn't even play every single day. I mean, he gets in the lineup consistently, but there's several games that he's off. Yeah, he's not even in the lineup. I know they had some shuffling, and he's playing more as of late ever since they get rid of Hanley Ramirez. So Jose Abreu, hands down, this is kind of an easy choice. He should start the game. Gurriel for the Astros. He's had a second year, so the first base race, that's just about right, in my opinion. Second base, no shocker here, but a Jose Altuve, the American League MVP last year, leading it. Guy is just a hitting machine. 5'0". I mean, I think they have him listed at like 5'7", 5'8". When you go look up his profile, he's like 5'4", 5'5". It doesn't matter. Guy is just a flat-out hitter. And another strong year for him. I think he is second in batting average, maybe right there at first. I know him and Mookie Betts are battling that out. So no question he deserves to be the leader. Now, at number 2, is a guy that did not even start the season with the major league team. And that is Gleyber Torres of the New York Yankees. Does that mean he doesn't deserve to be at number 2? Not at all. I mean, there was a stretch, especially last month, where the best hitter was Gleyber Torres. You know, the Braves get to see some of the very young talent like Acuna Jr. and Albies producing. Well, this is what Gleyber Torres has done. He actually would have been called up last year. but he suffered a freak injury sliding into home plate where he tore his UCL ligament. So he needed Tommy John on his non-throwing arm, sliding headfirst into home plate. If it wasn't for that, he would have been a major league guy last year at the age of 20. So this 21-year-old has just been unbelievable. A guy that's not really known for power. I think the most home runs he hit so far in his minor league career was I think 13 was the most he hit. He's up 15 home runs, 15, 16 home runs currently right now. So the power in his bat was a nice surprise. And this guy's just a flat-out hitter. It's playing second base is more of a natural shortstop. So, you have another big arm to play second base, helps you turn the two. So he has been a great addition for the Yankees and one of the reasons why there's so much hype around him. At number 3 on the list is D. Gordon. D. Gordon played some outfield to start this year, but with Robinson Cano suspended, moving back to second base, the guy is dangerous. He gets on base. He's a threat to steal. One of those kind of annoying hitters that kind of just slaps the ball, puts down bunts, leads baseball in infield base hits. So, he's just a nightmare for teams. He's third. Jason Kipnis struggling this year at number 4. He ain't going to get into the All-Star game. Jed Lowry of the Athletics is their biggest hitter in that lineup. Probably should be ahead of Elise Kipnis in my opinion. But second base, again, no argument here. Jose Altuve should be the starter, and Gleyber Torres definitely should be an all-star as a rookie. Third base, interesting race here. Jose Ramirez, as the Cleveland Indians, is leading third base. This is a guy last year, beginning of the year, the Indians didn't really know if he was going to be an everyday player. They knew he had so much talent. He was trying to find ways to get him into the lineup. Kipnis missed some time with injuries. That allowed Ramirez to get in consistently in that starting that lineup, and he's never looked back. He's a guy that you have to have out there. Just all-around pure hitter. Solid third baseman. Alex Bregman of the Astros is in second. He actually has passed Miguel Andujar from the Yankees, who's another rookie. A rookie that leads the American League and American League rookies and all rookies really in extra base hits. Reminds me a little bit of Manny Machado. If Manny Machado, when he first got called up, was the guy that hit a lot of doubles, a lot of extra base hits, and then we saw that power increase more, and now a guy that hits a good share of home runs. I think that's going to be the case with Miguel Andujar. He's third on the list, and that's going to be an interesting battle for that second spot between him and Bregman. Adrian Beltre, fourth on the list. Probably my favorite player in baseball today. I love everything about Adrian Beltre. There's still some talk where people question, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer or even a Hall of Famer? Without a question, he is. There's not a whole lot of third basemen in the Hall of Fame, and he's definitely going to be one of them. 3,000 hits. Guy's just a great ball player, very entertaining to watch out there. And then Kyle Seager is fifth on the list for the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are having a really good season now. They've been very aggressive, trying to fill out their lineup, beefing up their bullpen. They made a trade for Colome with the Tampa Bay Rays. They got some pieces there, and they're battling the Houston Astros, who a lot of people, including myself, thought they were just going to run away with that division. It's not the case. Mariners are neck and neck with them. Very entertaining stuff. Shortstop, Manny Machado typically played third base. This year got moved over to shortstop, and he's just an all-around great player. One of my favorite players to watch. His arm, his range that he has in the field, and of course, he's dangerous at the plate. And he's doing this with all these rumors of the trades that are coming up, because every team wants him, and it's obviously going to happen. This guy is going to be on the move, because if Baltimore doesn't trade him, they may be the dumbest organization in all of sports, because you're not going to get him back. You got to get something from him. So Manny Machado will be on the move, and he's putting up great numbers with having to deal with that. Number 2 on the list is Carlos Correa of the Houston Astros. Solid shortstop all around as well. Francisco Lindor third. Didi Gregorius enforced. Didi was on fire in April. I mean, just putting up ridiculous numbers. He had one game where he had 8 RBIs and a few home runs. You couldn't get him out in April. And then May hit, and he couldn't buy a hit. And he's kind of dropped off. He's picking it back up again, but it's not quite the same to that hot start. So it makes sense that he's dropping down this list. And Gene Segura of the Mariners, their leadoff hitter, who's also very dangerous, one of those guys that gets a lot of infield hits, a lot of speed. You know, one reason why the Mariners can produce a lot of runs is number 5 on the list. Outfielders now, Mookie Betts leading the outfielders, even ahead of Mike Trout. Mookie Betts a few years ago finished second in the American League MVP race. This guy, I think, has a chance to win it this year. Once again, he'll be right there in the voting. He's having just a ridiculous season. You know, all-around hitter. Very, very sickening for me to say as a Yankee fan, but he is fun to watch. I mean, great with the glove. Guy that I have a lot of respect for, even though he's a Red Sox. Number 2 on the list is Mike Trout. Mike Trout, to me, best player in baseball. He's having a ridiculous season. You know, everybody compares it and possibly calling it the greatest season ever. He's also going to be in the running for that American League MVP award. And we look at the third guy on the list. It's Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge continuing to do things. And he's been on a little bit of a home run streak the last couple of games. Yeah, but the numbers are still there. Cutting back still a little bit more on the strikeout. Still strikes out a high rate, but that's a part of his game. Number 4 on the list, George Springer. Springer, I think, had a better year last year, but it has been solid this year. Michael Brantley, good to see him out there playing. That guy is a tremendous ball player. Had so many injury issues last year that, you know, really derailed them. Good to see him back out there and playing, and he's playing very well. And number 6, Andrew Benintendi of the Boston Red Sox, a left-hander, solid hitter. So that's kind of what you're looking at in the outfield race. And, of course, the designated hitter position, J.D. Martinez, Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton is hitting a lot better now. You know, he's hit a big home run tonight even. But J.D. Martinez, that's best signing in the offseason so far. Guy has been unbelievable. Drives in runs, leading baseball in RBIs. Just a pure hitter. And sometimes when you see a player get a big deal like that, they don't work out. It's a lot of pressure. Right from opening day, this guy was ready to go and has produced and has made a really good season so far. So that's kind of the way the American League voting is right now currently. Some positions might change. Like I mentioned, the third base in the American League and Duhar and Bregman. I think Jose Ramirez is going to wrap up that starting rotation. And leave it at that. But we're almost out of time here. Coming up just to the final minutes of Up Late. It has been a pleasure and a great experience. The first time getting to do the show by myself, any kind of show by myself. Had a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It just, a long day, but it didn't even feel that way when you have fun like this and like I have. So, appreciate it. I hope I did KB some justice by doing it. Had a lot of fun. Hope to get an opportunity to do this again. I hope everybody enjoys their 4th of July once again. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your time with your family, your friends, and fireworks, and the barbecue. It's going to be a great day tomorrow. And baseball, plenty of baseball to watch. One of the great traditions of the 4th of July. So have a good night, everybody.